Hey y'all. So I have been meaning to make this video, I think for like 2 weeks now, but we're not going to talk about that. Here I am with my awkwardly growing out hair, and we're going to do my 1 month post-op update. So if you've been following along, I had gastric sleeve on July 22nd. And it has been an interesting few weeks. There's been so many like ups and downs, emotionally and physically. It's so, the only word for it is interesting because it's not too hard to endure, but it's not easy. And there's something new every day. So it's just interesting. Um, I think what's been most difficult for me is feeling guilt and shame about hunger because all the videos that I watched, all the doctors that I talked to, I was trying to get this surgery for 12 years, before it finally happened. So I had been doing research for 12 years, and um, I expected that after surgery I would have to force myself to eat, that I wouldn't be hungry. Um, I was under the impression that any sort of sugar or carbs would make me very, very sick. And I, I guess it's like when I feel hungry, I feel guilty because it's like you had this surgery and you're trying to lose weight and you're hungry. Like every time I'm hungry, I wonder if I should be hungry. Am I overthinking it? Am I eating enough? Am I eating too much? And the reason why I'm hungry is because I'm stretching my stomach out. Like it's hard emotionally, because you don't want to have put yourself through all of this surgery and recovery and food restrictions and things just to ruin it, but also you don't want to become obsessive and overthink yourself into an eating disorder, which does happen. I think they said something like 4%, and it could be a bigger number than that, but if I remember correctly, they said 4% of people who have the surgery end up with anorexia or bulimia. And I was terrified for about a week. 3 weeks ago, for about a week, I was very, very sick. I was throwing up everything, even water. And it was incredibly difficult to even feel okay with throwing up when I didn't feel well. It felt like, um, am I forcing myself to throw up? Am I really sick? Or am I just trying to get skinny faster? Which I'm not trying to get skinny, but those are the thoughts that go through your head. So even being sick is a mind fuck because you're constantly telling yourself that you're not really sick, or you're too sick. It's hard to find a balance. um I've been combating that just by calling my mom a lot when I'm scared or stressed, and she helps to put me back on a level of thinking. I call the doctor a lot. My doctor is really, really awesome. Um, Her name is Dr. Kelly. She works at Honor Health if you live in the Phoenix area. She's absolutely amazing. I can call her any time of day and she will call me back. And answer my questions, and she's super patient, and that's important, because I have a lot of questions. I overthink things, and she never makes me feel stupid or intrusive or invasive or annoying, and that's important too. um I When I had surgery, I was 447 pounds. Today I am 385 pounds. Um, I think that's somewhere around 60 pounds. I'm really bad at math, and I don't feel like pulling out a pen and paper to make it correct. So we're going to say 60. Um, I struggle with feeling like I'm not losing enough weight because I don't want my journey to be about the numbers on the scale. I didn't have this surgery to be a certain size. I had the air just kicked on, so if you hear blowing, I'm sorry, it's the air conditioner. Um, I had this surgery to, like I've said 1,000 times, improve my ease of access to life. And so I find myself getting frustrated by the scale, and that's hard, because you don't want to fall into that trap of body shaming yourself or other fat people or, criticizing your weight loss when it should be about how you feel and physically and emotionally. So that's been a struggle as well. But I'm journaling a lot. I'm getting a lot of support from, well, it's so interesting. I say I'm getting a lot of support, and I am, but only from a few people, because most people are just like, oh, you had surgery to lose weight. You didn't just go to the gym, and the rest are upset with me for having the surgery because there are other fat people and they are feeling like I'm choosing like a forced thinness, and that's not the case. But my journey is my own, and my reasons are my own, and nobody has to understand or agree or like it in order for it to be what was right for me. So while I miss the few friends that I lost by having this surgery, I understand that that's where their journey took them. This is where my journey is taking me, and that's okay. As far as food goes, I'm eating a lot better now. I used to love salmon. I cannot eat salmon post-op, at least not yet. My body hates it. I used to love eggs. I cannot eat eggs post-op. My body absolutely hates eggs. If I eat eggs, I will throw up for that day and days after. What else am I having trouble eating? Salmon, eggs. That's really it so far. I've eaten chicken. I've had bacon. I've had beef. All went down fine. I've had tilapia. I've had tuna. Fine. I've even had bread. I've even had ice cream. I had an ice cream cone. I didn't finish it, but I had an ice cream cone, and even that didn't make me feel the way that salmon and eggs do. Um, I did struggle for the first few weeks overeating. Well, not even overeating, just eating too quickly. I felt like my hair is flat and it's driving me crazy, y'all. I'll try not to get distracted, but it is driving me crazy. I want my hair to be like, and it's like, it's flat. Like, I feel like I look like Osmosis Jones. It's driving me crazy. I'm trying to ignore it, but it's driving me crazy. Um, what was I saying? Food. I was eating too quickly. I wasn't eating too much, but I was eating too quickly. And so I started combating that because I was getting sick. I started combating that by putting like a ridiculously small amount of food in my bowl, like maybe 1 or 2 bites, and eating that, and then putting my bowl down and just like walking away and coming back a few minutes later. Because if I noticed that at first, if I was trying to sit at the table and eat or watch a movie and eat or something like that, it just felt so ridiculous to not be eating my food. Like, it's just sitting there getting cold, and it was really hard to not just eat the food while it was still, good and warm. And so what I started doing was cooking things that are okay even after they cool off. Like, for example, yesterday I made a big pot of chili. Chili is really good hot, and everybody knows when you pour a bowl of chili, you got your fresh hot chili, it's way too hot to eat. So you let it sit for a minute. So like chili, it's super, super hot. So even as it starts to cool off, it's still quite warm and pleasant to eat. Some things like cauliflower pizza, doesn't matter if it gets cold after it's been cooked, it's still delicious to eat. Chicken, I can eat cold chicken. So I started eating things that were okay even after they cooled off. So unfortunately, that box of sandwiches that I bought from Costco, they're like these AB sandwiches, little freezer chicken sandwiches. Those are probably gonna end up going to my nieces and nephews because I can't eat them. It takes me so long to eat that by the time I get to like my third bite, it's rock hard and it's cold and it's not a good time. So I have not been enjoying that, but I've been improving through it, and I do enjoy that. I like finding new ways to feel as normal as possible while going through this process. Um, I think the most exciting thing, because I'm trying to keep this video a little shorter, the most exciting thing about the past month is that my back hurts much less. It still hurts, but it hurts much less. And I have more stamina. Like normally when I do the dishes, because my back hurts so badly, I have to sit down a few times and take a break and get back up and get back to cleaning the kitchen, and cleaning the kitchen takes me about an hour and a half because I'm washing the dishes and then I sit down and take a break and then I clean off the counters and I sit down and take a break, then I sweep the floor, I sit down and take a break. So now I can get through most of it without a break, and that's nice. I still take a break when I need to, but it's nice to not need to as often. Also, just things like I haven't noticed in the mirror much changes, but some of my clothes do fit differently, which is interesting. I have this pair of shorts, like this little biker pair of shorts that I love to wear. They're super comfortable. They stick to me real nice, and they're super stretchy, and they're always really tight. And yesterday I put them on fresh out of the dryer, and they were baggy, which was interesting. It was nice. I feel like I'm only losing weight from the waist down, which is difficult because I feel like I look like a yam stuck on popsicle sticks. And before I started losing a lot of weight, I was very fat, but I was very okay with the way that I looked. I wasn't okay with how I felt, but I was okay with the way that I looked. And now that I'm losing weight and you can't control where fat exits your body, I look a little cray. Like, I wish I could show you guys right now, but like, I'll have to take some pictures and use them in my next video. My knees, right? I don't even remember what my knees looked like before I got fat. I don't know if anybody knows what their knees looked like 20 years ago, but for the past, as long as I can remember, my knees were knees, but they were fat, flabby knees. And now, as I'm starting to lose weight, my knee, my left knee is like the flesh is taking on sort of a honeycomb pattern. It's like before it was a bread roll, right? And now it's like if you took a bread roll and you started pushing an apple core down into it and you've got all these little segments. That's what it's like. It's like little tiny pockets. And